Hello, my name is Brandon Clark, and I'm a fifth grade teacher at Woodrow Wilson Elementary. Go Wolves! And today I'm going to talk to you about our transition from our Kansas state standards to our nationally adopted Common Core standards. I hope this presentation to our district school faculty and community members will somewhat cast a vision for the Common Core standards and what it looks like in the coming years. I'm going to keep this as straightforward as possible, try to stick to the basics, and hope to answer some questions you might have about these standards and give a little bit of clarity on what they mean. So bear with me here as we begin. First off, I wanted to go over the ISLLC standards, which basically just translates into Interstate School Leaders Licensure Consortium Standards. I know it's a lot to swallow, but basically it just means the standards by which each state is going to follow as part of the Common Core standards. So here they are in brief. I'll quickly run through them, and if you want to look up them more in depth later on, you most certainly can do that. But kind of our goal is, as a building leader and administrator, it's our job to promote the Common Core standards by following the below ISLLC standards. The first one is an education leader promotes the success of every student by facilitating the development, articulation, implementation, and stewardship of a vision of learning that is shared and supported by the school, district, and community. Number two, being an education leader promotes the success of every student by advocating, nurturing, and sustaining a school culture and instructional program conducive to student learning and staff professional growth. Third one is an education leader promotes the success of every student by ensuring management of the organization, operations, and resources for a safe, efficient, and effective learning environment. The fourth one, an education leader promotes the success of every student by collaborating with faculty and community members, responding to a diverse community interests and needs, and mobilizing community resources. Fifth one, an education leader promotes the success of every student by acting with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. And finally, an education leader promotes the success of every student by understanding, responding to, and influencing the political, social, economic, legal, and cultural context. So that's what we're looking at in terms of the ISLLC standards and what we'll be following. One thing I wanted to do before I dive into the details of the Common Core standards is give you a brief explanation of it. I know just a few years ago I'd never heard of it and it was confusing when people talked about it, but it really is quite straightforward. Basically what it amounts to is instead of having individual state standards, we're going to implement nationwide standards. There are many reasons for this, some of which we'll talk about here shortly, but it really is designed to make things easier for us. One of the issues I noticed with state standards is when you had a student who came from another state, they weren't necessarily on the same level as your students. Each state had its different standards, so each state had standards at different levels. The Common Core standards are designed to get everyone on the same page as well as to have an equal playing field for assessments. This does not mean that every school, district, and state will be using the same textbooks. We can continue teaching what we are teaching with guidance from the Common Core standards. There will be definitely some flexibility in what you choose to use. Now I say most states because not every state will be implementing these standards. As of today, we are a little more than 40 states that are willing to cooperate, and of course one of those states that's not cooperating or not choosing to do this is Texas. They generally like to hold the tradition of doing things their own way. I wanted to give you some quick facts and descriptions about some of the key components of the Common Core standards. First of all, the Common Core standards was put together by a diverse group of people. Excuse me. They were not put together by our government or people who have no experience with education, but rather people who can be trusted to create these standards with their children in mind. Not only were they put together by people within this country, but also representatives from top academic performing countries from all around the world who also contributed to the creation of the Common Core standards. The Common Core standards are built upon current state standards, so it's not like we are completely abandoning our state standards, just tweaking them a bit. The standards align with college and work expectations. That means your child shouldn't come home anymore and say, I don't know how this will be helpful for me in the future. These standards are designed to equip them with the tools they'll need in college and in the workforce. They are focused on their future success by preparing them now. If you were to look at our state standards right now, it might be hard to interpret. With the new standards, there are a lot fewer of them, a little easier to understand. They are much clearer, and they're much higher standards. These standards focus on high achievement, which is something I'm definitely super excited about. The new standards go grade by grade. You won't see much overlap in teaching from year to year, and they are pretty grade specific in what they say. And as for a timeline for all of this, these standards are planned to be fully installed by the end of the 2014-2015 school year. Right now, we are slowly installing some of the standards piece by piece. The full puzzle won't be completed for a few more years, so there are some general facts. These are just some general facts that I want to give you about the Common Core standards and just kind of give you an idea of what they are all about. There are some implications for instruction that come along with the new Common Core standards, but not too many. As mentioned earlier, teachers can continue teaching what they are doing. Our district bought into new textbooks and curriculums that were in alignment with the Common Core standards because we knew it was coming, so we have a good head start on the big change. There will be plenty of staff development and training in order to implement this. This won't just be dumped into our laps with no help, and we will get the assistance we need. Teachers will be communicating and collaborating with one another and with administrators in order to make sure we are all on the same page and heading in the right direction. Part of the new instruction will be focused on media technology. We live in a very technology enriched country where our students and children probably know much more about technology than we do. So the Common Core standards focus on more technology in education to help the students learn, and of course it's fun for the students and they love it. Finally, it won't have a huge effect on our demographics. Our district is already very diverse and used to adapting to change, especially being a college community and a military community. I think this change will excite them more than anything. Wanted to take a quick look at some of the pros and cons. This is by no means the full list, but just some of the things that stuck out to me and some things to ponder. We'll start with the pros. The new Common Core standards give stability to the quote-unquote moving family. Students that are moving from state to state, whether it be military or parents' job just taking them somewhere, they'll be able to stick with the same standards, given that the states are a part of the program. This will provide some stability in our educational world. The new standards encourage collaboration with fellow teachers. Not that our old standards didn't, there's just much more of it with the new standards. The Common Core standards focus on skills that will equip students for life after high school, whether that's college or the workforce, and these standards prepare students for a global workforce, even if they don't leave the states. Finally, these standards carry with them high expectations that are achievable. I love the goals they've set forth, and I love their expectations for the students. We are preparing them for high success in the future. On the flip side of things, there's always going to be cons. As quoted from a movie, "Show me the money." These new standards and the time it takes to implement them are going to cost. New assessment, new materials, new training, and a field such as education where we already are low on money, we have to be willing to spend even more money on something like this. Along with everything being new, there's going to be professional development that will have to go along with all this. It will take time and patience to learn everything. The transition from the old standards to the new standards could be tough. And finally, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. With every new thing or new way that comes along, there will always be questions about whether or not it works. We are traveling a new road here. We don't know all the answers, but research has been done to help prepare us for what to expect. So that's just a few of the pros and cons. Just to kind of summarize and give you a little summary and conclusion. With the new standards expected to be fully installed in the next few years, we really need the support and backing from the community. We truly believe that we are moving in the right direction, and we hope our community will trust us and jump on board with us. As mentioned earlier, over 40 states are already committed to the new standards, so it's good to know that we're not alone on this. We're heading in this direction because we believe it will promote the success of the students to the fullest degree. We wouldn't commit to something like this if we didn't believe it was in the best interest of the students. And to close out, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I don't know everything, but I can sure attempt to answer some of your questions. If I can't answer them, I can definitely point you in the direction of someone who can. I have a reference page on the next slide of some places I received my information. Feel free to check them out and take a deeper look into this yourself. Thanks for your time.